Hello, welcome to a very special and sad podcast with me, All Things Wrestling, Anton Blake-Cox, and Alex Kingdom. Hello, guys. I know, Anton.
I don't think that's. I'll be honest. Being the guy that I know you guys have both been to live shows, but I think the guy that's probably watched. Anton, did you stay up with Defiant, or did you kind of lose touch a bit towards the end there?
Truthfully honest, I did lose a bit of touch.
So is the only guy that's seen all the shows. So what we're going to be doing here, guys, today is we're going to run you through a bit of a brief history about WCPW. I'm going to always remember it's WCPW personally.
It will be that forever.
That was the time that I personally enjoyed it more. I always stayed up with the project, the company, because I believe in independent wrestling. I think it's a fantastic thing. And we're going to get into reasons probably. Well, actually, we know the reason that Defiant had to go down in the end. It's a very obvious,
conclusion.
Thing. At the end of the day.
Yeah.
But we're going to run through, and as we run through the shows, we'll just talk about favorite moments from that specific show. If we remember it towards the end, it'll probably just be me talking mostly about Defiant, because I don't think you guys watched it all too much. But do you want me just to go straight in with the first show, or how it began?
Oh, I could do that.
We can all do how it started.
I think the big thing was obviously I don't know if you guys watched this bit, but obviously it started up on the back of the feud between Adam Pacitti and Adam Blumpier at the time.
R.I.P. Blumps.
Yeah,
he's not dead.
Yeah, but his career is dead.
Right, we're going to go. Right, guys, because we're remembering the WCPW, we're not going to go into that now, because I don't think, first of all, it's not something to make fun of as well. It's a very serious issue, and obviously this was going off the fact of the whole BX thing that happened at the time, and the Pacitti Club, good times there.
Oh, very good times.
And obviously, Pacitti returned, I think, after Extreme Rules. He went away with an illness for a little bit, and he came back, and he announced that they're going to be starting a wrestling promotion. He is your What Culture Pro Wrestling General Manager, Adam Pacitti. And he, we were like, what the hell? He's like, it's going to feature all British indie stars, and I wasn't aware of any people at the time. But one person that I was aware of was Jay Lethal, who at the time was the Ring of Honor World Champion. And this, I don't know about you guys, but this kind of helped legitimize.
Definitely.
From the off. And it made things big with, when you think, they've got Jay Lethal here, this could be something special. And then you look at Noam Dar, who I knew at the time was already going to WWE for the Cruiserweight Classic version 1. It's just... you could tell something special was happening here, and then we obviously had those vignettes where Jack was trying to find somebody to take on Rampage Brown, because it was him versus Blumpier in the first ever loaded main event. Do you guys remember this bit where Blumpier was like, I challenge you, Jack, or maybe Adam at the time, then Adam asked Jack to find someone, and it was between Joe Hendry and Big Damo. Do you guys remember this?
Yes, that was actually a really good match, that was.
That was a good match.
Yeah, but also the build-up where, I don't know whether you guys remember the whole Park Lane incident. That was good fun. Do you guys remember that?
Park Lane incident?
Yeah, but essentially, right, it was a vignette of Jack and Joe hanging out, because at this point Joe had already...
Oh, yeah.
And they were playing Monopoly, and then Big Damo comes in, he destroys the board, and Joe's like, Park Lane!
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
He's like, you destroyed Park Lane! So then it is like...
Oh, yeah.
And then obviously...
it's Hendry.
Yeah, and then that started that. But we got to talk about this first of all. So Loaded starts off with Adam Pacitti. He's like, we're gonna, he comes out. And he's like, welcome to Loaded, and he obviously comes out with the cardboard belt at the time, and we're thinking, what the hell?
Oh, no. I know what's happening.
But then obviously they reveal the championship. This is the WCPW championship.
He destroyed the cardboard belt.
I know, but
What a monster!
The legitimate cardboard belt. We're talking about Rampage Brown here, not Adam Pacitti.
Still got.
But obviously the WCPW title, which we'll talk about the lineage of. Did you watch that outro video, both of you, that they released on the channel?
Oh
no. I've been busy today,
Yes, they
unfortunately.
have.
Just
What?
want
It's
to point
been
out
out
the
for
championship
days.
first. Did you notice they changed the belt size?
Yeah, I was going to say
Oh,
that.
yeah.
When I say grow in size.
Because somebody held it and it was tiny, and then as soon as somebody else got it after, it was massive.
Joseph Collins.
Do you know the reason they did that?
Yeah, because when they ordered it, the people that made it thought it was just going to be for the What Culture guys, not an actual wrestling promotion.
So they give this really tiny ass belt to Big Damo.
That was funny. And then Joseph Collins got
I'm
a
the
massive one.
champion of this tiny belt.
But no, we start off the first episode loaded in terms of a match with a triple threat between Connor's Gabriel Kidd, who looks like an actual babyface, not a wrestling babyface. He looks about 12. And also Alex Gracie. I think this is the first introduction to Prospect.
Oh, yeah.
Which wasn't the first match filmed, by the way. That was Kirby and Ligero, but they thought it was too comical to put as the first match for WCPW. Yeah, and at the time, our commentators were Simon Miller and Ross Tweddell.
God, the commentary was terrible.
King Ross. You
I
could
will
tell
admit, yeah.
So bad.
But no, and obviously the whole thing between Kirby and Bachiti started up around this time as well, which led on to one of the best moments ever. But we'll get onto that later on.
Now,
and
Alex, I think before we continue, shall we talk about our history with the What Culture guys?
Yeah, because if you don't know, I think me and Anton didn't meet through this. We met through YouTube, I think, didn't we, Anton? We didn't meet through this specifically.
We met at the end of the
and
World
then
Cup.
you met Tom through me. Is that correct, or did you know Tom previously?
That is correct.
Okay, so me and Tom, you commented on a TLC review. Must have been the one between Dean Ambrose and AJ Styles, where
I can't remember. I think
a certain
you were friends
small
with
dude.
Super Chasney, weren't you?
No, I don't think so. I think you commented on the TLC review and we started talking from there.
I found you somehow and then commented and then we just videos together after that.
I mean, at the time, I was quite young, so I was very foolish and all that, and I was quite, you can make fun of it now, but I was very lonely at the time. And obviously, the What Culture Extra service started up, and Bachiti and PA and Jack and Ross were doing calls. I went on there, and it was someone to talk to. It was nice for me, although it was quite late and stuff.
Oh, they were the best. Their live reactions to the shows were the best.
And I actually, although there was a lot of people that, let's be honest, were quite mean to me at the time. I obviously understand it now because it's not a kid and as I grow older.
No one was mean to you, Alex.
No, I received death threats, man.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Okay, no, I got nothing.
No, because you weren't an annoying kid. You were like, what, 23 at the time?
Yeah.
So, I was an annoying kid that no one really liked, especially certain people that were just like, you need to leave the shows, otherwise, obviously, stuff like that. So at the time, it was quite scary for me, and these guys felt like my friends, even though they really weren't in the grand scheme of things.
They were kind of friends, because it was kind of a tight-knit group between all of us.
No, but I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I cannot say that Adam Cheaty is my friend, can I?
I've met the guy, he's very tall.
At the time, it felt, really nice and stuff, so I had to thank them for that, and I always hold those memories fond. And obviously, there was me and Tom were like, we should kayfabe this shit up.
We had a rivalry. That was fun.
Can I swear, by the way? Because I've been on some podcasts where I can't swear and stuff. We had to do that, and I really love those memories. It's a shame they're taking those streams down, because I think, especially now when my voice has got a lot deeper and I speak a lot posher, it would be nice to go back to the version of myself.
Shut up, you kid!
But our tweet saying King Dom and King Tom in the same stream at the same time, boyhood dreams come true, is still on their What Culture Extra Twitter account.
Is it?
Yeah. Last time I checked a few months ago, it's still on there.
You gotta bring that up.
Yeah, but I'm gonna find this.
Oh, it was such a good time, man.
Was it just that What Culture Extra?
Yeah, it was on What Culture Extra quite far back. It was on there.
Yeah, but how do you... it says What Culture Extra, yeah?
Yeah. They've still got the Twitter account open, I believe.
So you keep them talking before it for this.
But yeah, we just had live... just had this whole thing going on with those guys. I mean, they were nice to talk to.
Yeah, What Culture Crowd. That's the one. That's where it came.
Yeah, go quite far back. And yeah, it was just like a history, because obviously they were so ingrained in What Culture back in the day. It was nice to kind of talk to them.
Yeah, and I think, you're a lot older than me, and still are to this day. I don't know why I was sort of say you were older than me at the time, because you're still older now.
Then again, I was around about those guys' age as well. Because I think they're only a couple years older than me.
Yeah, and as someone again that I don't want to be, because that was a dark time for me when I was actually quite. I know it's quite fun to make fun of. I'm a little kid with my friends. By the time I was, as you would know back then, I wouldn't want to say. I mean, yeah, I'll go that far. I'd say I was quite. I wanted to, have friends and stuff. And,
and I assume you don't keep up with any of the old What Culture Extra people, like Austin or Cindy or.
No, I talked to one man specifically.
Which one?
Well, Robbie Mills himself.
Oh yeah,
the one.
I don't remember him ever being there.
He was always there. That's how I knew him.
That's how I don't remember him.
When was this? Was it 2016 or early 2017?
I think it was 2016.
So I'm on January 2017.
Yeah, I think it's 2016.
Is it on the What Culture Extra Twitter account?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm scrolling through.
Oh, I can't find the Twitter account.
It's called What Culture X. It's at What Culture X.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they renamed the account but never deleted any of the tweets.
No, because
they guys had done.
Delete Twitter.
Ah.
Kingdom and King. Look at my face in the photo. It's the 14th of December. I was fat, yo. Like, what the hell is wrong with?
It was fun though. That day was.
Oh no, yeah, it was really good fun. Really good fun.
And then the day they cancelled, it was sad.
King Tom and Kingdom and Kingdom were on live stream at once. The moment for the ages, the boy had dreams come true.
I think King Ross tweeted that one out.
Yeah, man. I mean, but so that was that. That was a very special time for us. And then obviously, we'll move on though. So essentially, what happened in this leaky warehouse, as it's known, I believe it's called Holt's Yard, is that we had the first 4 episodes loaded and Built to Destroy. And obviously, we all loaded. Essentially, happened with the first episode loaded was Joe Hendry versus Big Damo for Jack's Affection.
Oh, do you want to mention the failure that they did on them shows though? I can't believe don't know if it was the first or second tapings, but they filmed it on an afternoon when England was playing in the World Cup,
and everyone was working.
Yeah, so we had no one in the fucking show barely. Still a good crowd though. It was still a good crowd saying that.
The crowd were hot. Like they made it sound like there was. By the way, guys, this could be an age-long podcast because there's a lot to get through. So
I think we should probably get key points and not every single detail of all the shows.
No, I can run through it. Well, in Colaholic made a 2.5 hour one, so
I ain't got time to do a 2.5 hour one. We've got less than an hour really, because you gotta go do stuff tonight, haven't you, Alex?
I don't know. I've cancelled it to do this.
Well, I haven't got all night because I have things to do as well.
Like what? Stream Pokemon? You bitch.
I've got to go and do shit.
So we'll speed through this as long as possible. I don't think we can get it done in under an hour. So
this is part 1 of 100.
Yeah, we might have to part it or something because I don't think we're gonna get it done in under an hour. Or was that an exaggeration? Because what time have you genuinely got to?
I've got probably about an hour, so I think we should probably fit it all in. Because, to be honest, I only recall the first year of the history.
Oh man, I could go on for more than a year. The first year is nothing.
Fuck off! The first year was everything.
Everything.
No, I think 2017 was the best year.
I think the proper start was the build to stack. The first loaded towards the stack pay-per-view.
Well, no, that's when it probably. We can't not say that. Obviously, going through this, we'll quickly breeze over the first 4 weeks. Obviously, we had that amazing match between Jay Lethal and Ligero, which I still think is one of the best matches in the history of.
That was a very, very good match.
That was a good match.
We had the beginning of Hendry and Connors, which would come later on to be a massive part. We had the whole Chichi and Kirby thing starting up. We had the Gabriel Kid Prince Amin thing. Then we move on to Built to Destroy. That was a very brief. First.
The Bachiti and Kirby thing. I was live there when Bachiti did it.
We'll get on to the absolute heinous he committed. We then so Built to Destroy, right? 2016, probably the weakest one. That was just virtue of the venue. But we had we have? We had Kirby versus Ligero, which was a dress versus mask match.
Oh yeah, that was a good
which was good fun. Then we had Kid versus Amin. If Kid lost, he'd become Amin's servant, which he did.
Which was really good, actually.
And then I don't remember much of the mid card. We had another Primate versus Joe Coffey match. I think the build up to this was they were just having great matches. And Primate at the time, I think, was already being managed by Susie Kennedy. If you remember who she was.
Before she left a few weeks into the promotion.
She was there until the first Refuse to Lose. She was there when you were the Crow.
Yeah, because I met Susie and then literally she was gone after that. That was her last show.
But so we had Primate versus Joe Coffey again. I don't remember who won that one because they've had a lot of matches that kind of blend into one. But the two big matches were obviously you had Jay Lethal versus Noam Dar in another great match. I think this one was also for the Ring of Honor title. No, the Guerrero one was the Ring of Honor title.
No, the stipulation was just Jay Lethal won. He got a shot at the Ring of Honor World Championship, I think, because he lost it.
Jay Lethal was Ring of Honor World Champion.
If Ligero went,
he lost it. He lost it to Iron Cole in 2017.
Because I know he had a match somewhere where he got a chance at the championship if he won a match.
Yeah. But no, I think. But anyway, we'll move on to the O2 Academy, right? So they upped this. This was the taping after. And if I remember correctly, obviously they had the original, so your Hendrys, your Connors, your Kirbys. But they also had, obviously Damo was still champion. This was after the big. Oh, we should talk about that. We need to talk about that. So the main event was obviously Rampage versus Big Damo to become the first ever WCPW champion. We had Team Jack, which was Damo and Jack, and Rampage and Blampier. And at this point, I think the story going in was obviously it's these two against each other, but there was also a caveat that the pile driver was banned. Is that correct?
Oh, yes, that was correct.
Yes, so then successfully.
I mean, yeah, because no one remembered it. But I think to this point they kept it right, and then after this they were just like, you can do it. But because what happened was the match was going well, but then Damo, I think, low blows Rampage, hits the pole driver 1, 2, 3, and then Pacitti comes out and he's like, whoa, what are you doing? He hits Pacitti, and then he sides with Blampier, which was like a heel turn moment, which was amazing.
Double turn.
Yeah, it was.
Well, I mean, Rampage.
That was very well executed. That was
because Rampage didn't come back for a while as well. He didn't come back to Refuse to Lose, I don't think.
No, he was out for a while.
When we'll go to the O2 Academy today, being as we're close for time. And obviously they had Doug Williams, they had Will Ospreay, they had Grado, they had a lot of people, but they also had freshly out. Beef Phoenix and they all start the women's division. But they also had fresh out of WWE Aaron Stevens as well.
Hallelujah! Hallelujah!
I mean, the poor dude, but the poor.
Sorry, I was going to say. I was going to say, have you heard the podcast that Cultaholic put out for about their tribute to it? Because they said
we
referenced Aaron Stevens.
We referenced this 10 minutes ago.
Oh,
that's when I said they did a 2.5-hour podcast.
Yeah, but in the podcast they mentioned that Aaron Stevens when he came there, he wasn't so into wrestling, and then when he came out through the curtains, he was just like. His love for wrestling just pointed back in.
No, because he was surprised they weren't chanting Damien Sandler, they were chanting Aaron Stevens.
Fun fact though, you should know how Blampier came out dressed as Aaron Stevens.
Yeah.
He wore his actual robe.
I knew that.
Because Blampier was going to go and get a cheap bathrobe to, do a really knock-off bad impression of him. But Aaron Stevens was like, you use this stuff, you make it look like you are me. Which is pretty cool from the guy, to be fair.
But so obviously the mini feud before Stat was going to be Damo versus Stevens because unfortunately they only got him for this taping, I think.
Yeah, they only had him for one.
The main event of first of all we also had another killer match on loaded number 5 and then another one on number 6 or 7. But loaded number 5 was Will Ospreay versus Noam Dar versus Ligero.
Oh yeah, that was a brilliant one.
And that was fantastic. And then the next week or 2 weeks afterwards, it was going to be Ospreay versus Kirby. Now, originally Ospreay was going to go over because it's blowing up in Japan, but Ospreay was like, no, I want to put Kirby over. And this was the start of a by accident face turn for Martin Kirby. And
one of the best.
It was sensational. There's no way it was one of the most organic things. And this is the only reason that Pacitti turned heel was because it was so natural that Kirby, although he was annoying, he was beginning to get over with the crowd. But that match between Ospreay and Kirby could be one of my favourites.
Kirby Oki.
And the furry love cuffs. The furry love cuffs as well. I think you can't forget that. I mean, but just Pacitti and the outgoing enough! I can't do it with you anymore. Fine, you get your match. Like Pacitti at that point was so good. He was a bit shaky to begin with,
but he'd really got into his own.
But then when you just hear him shrieking, "Get out of my ring! You've got your match. Go!" You're like, this is good stuff. And then at this show they announced they've got Kurt freaking Angle and Cody Rhodes for, I don't know whether you've seen the video on YouTube at the time where they announced it. Called
Yeah.
And the crowd just erupts. And you can tell that Pacitti's got a lot of emotion there. He's like coming to walk on the forest. And this is like the crowd are like mad and it's hot. And that just shows them. I'm getting chills now just thinking of it, But then we, as you say, move on to Stat, which was the crowning of the first ever women's champion. We saw people like Drew Galloway and Moose. They came into the promotion.
And the villain, Marty Scurll.
And they had another classic with Ospreay. But this was another turning point in the promotion because we had Aaron Stevens, by the way, had a match with Damo and he lost. But the match itself wasn't really the important thing. It was really that promo between Blompier and Stevens, which was fantastic, which you guys already mentioned.
Oh, yeah.
But the thing about Stat was we announced we had an internet title, but that was announced by special general manager for the night, Eric Bischoff.
That was good.
Which if you go back and watch like him entering for the show, you could they dub the music over with just generic music, but in the background, instead of it, you could just hear the NWO music, and my heart just goes like, yeah, that's awesome. Just Eric Bishop just goes down, 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 down.
And but obviously there was that moment between Blampier, it was his birthday, and he was like, "You're my dad," or whatever, and he was like, "I want to endorse one GM and one man only, Adam Pacitti."
Pacitti.
And it's like, no, and he's crying and he's on his knees like, "Love me."
Why?
And then Damo's cuddling him or whatever. And obviously Damo later on in the night, but obviously this is where we saw the debut of Pete Dunne as well.
Yes, it was because he was personally endorsed by Eric Bischoff.
I'm going to be honest, the only person that they probably dropped the ball with. Because Pete Dunne didn't get one winner, I think.
He was only there for a few weeks though before he left.
No, he was there for a while. He was there for like November. This was like June.
Yeah, but he still weren't there that long to get anything.
No, but he could have got a win.
Yeah.
He did more of a... Fast forwarding a bit, it's we'll go back in a minute, but it's more like they set him up more with Travis Banks.
They did,
with the fight against Mustache Mountain.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a minute, but we need to talk about the Fatal 4-Way at Stat. Right? So we had Hendry, Connors, Damo, and was it Rampage? It must have been Rampage. So Rampage wasn't gone yet, I suppose. But obviously
he returned at that point. He was gone off TV for a few weeks.
No, I think he was in the middle. Because I think your face is going in with Connors and Hendry.
No, because remember he had to take a few weeks off before Stacked, because that's how Blompier took him out with batteries in a sock.
But I think he wasn't exactly face yet. I think just because he was against Blompier, didn't.
Oh yeah, he wasn't face. He was kind of tweener at that point. But that Fatal 4-Way.
Everyone going in, I think we all thought Connors was there to take the pin.
Well, obviously, Connors and Hendry were still in their alliance at that point, weren't they?
I think during this time as well, we had the Joe Hendry's music, play Joe Hendry's music.
Joe Hendry's music, play Joe Hendry's music.
Connors.
And Joseph Connors. But then I think, and then obviously going into this one, Connors gets the win, I think pinning Hendry. And the way, not only that, but the way he holds that belt and clutches it tight.
Neil Joseph Connors is fucking amazing.
It was the first WCPW t-shirt I bought. Was the Righteous Killer t-shirt.
You two have been to shows. I've not ever been to one.
I've been to
call yourself a fan.
I live in the southwest of England, mate.
They made a way near down there.
Yeah, but I was, what, 16 at the time?
Birmingham,
Birmingham's like 30
Birmingham
hours
is
away.
nowhere near the south.
Yeah,
I
Birmingham.
went to Newcastle.
I went to Newcastle. I live near
You live in
Birmingham and I went
Oxford.
to Newcastle. And not
You live in Oxford, mate.
It's still a long way away by train. I'd
But
sit next to an old granny.
how long is it for you on train?
It's about 4 hours.
Yeah, for me it's 7.
Don't take a train, drive is better.
I don't have a car.
I can't drive.
Get someone to drive you then.
I have no friends near Oxford who are wrestling friends.
So I'll pay you 25 quid, take me to here.
Right, since we don't have much time, we need to move on. So after this, then obviously Connors has turned heel, and he went on an absolute rampage. He had that match with Drew Galloway, who was on at the time, and Galloway got injured, like real, not kayfabe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is where we began. Also, we should mention that EC3 was at start as well.
Oh yeah.
I forgot about that.
Hey guys, everyone. Bret Hart's coming to in August? Yay! Or something like that.
So Connors injured Drew McIntyre, Galloway, whatever you want to call them. And we found out they were going to get an internet championship with that was cool. But then we had another person debut around this time, which was Alberto El Patron, and his first order of business was if he beat Big Damo, who we all knew was going to NXT at the time, Damo would have to leave WCPW. And that was a really good match, and obviously Alberto won.
Can I just say this match with like the crowd atmosphere was like one of the best like atmosphere crowd. I know the shit people give like Alberto and his stuff is quite questionable, but in that moment where he was just free to do whatever he wanted, it just made him look so good.
I don't know if you guys remember, but they scooped him up within less than 24 hours of him leaving the company. Literally, like the day he left, there was a video going, "Come into WC here," and Alberto Patron.
And also Easter egg. Paige was at that TV taping.
No,
you can see her for.
It wasn't that one. It wasn't that one.
No, she was there.
No, she was the next
She was
one.
there. There's a split second where you could see her with her phone taking a picture.
No, that was later on.
That was Refused to Lose.
No, that was the one after Refused to Lose. It was the one after.
No. She was literally at that loaded taping. Honestly. Look, go back. There's a comment on there saying like Paige at the time. You can see her. Promise.
Right, we'll take your word for it.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
But then this was building up to obviously Kurt Angle, and he needed to find an opponent. And Kurt Angle, he in kayfabe obviously invited 13. I want to say 15. Thank you. In an invitational rumble. Some of the highlights were obviously, you know, your Hendrys, your E3s, your Kirbys, the Guerreros, your Doug Williams, who got on newspaper at one point. Moose didn't enter the match.
No, I just love it. Everyone's like, yeah, Moose! Bash, bash, bash. He's not in the rumble. Boo!
Yeah, he got taken out backstage, didn't he?
No, he got taken out on the ramp.
Oh, there you go. I know he got taken out somewhere.
By Prospect?
Yeah, I think so.
Is it Prospect?
I think so.
Because then one of them people went in instead of his place, didn't they?
Yeah, which is a weird thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's allowed.
How the hell is Becky Lynch allowed to enter the Royal Rumble?
How is Nia Jax able to enter the... Who cares? But the final two, it came down to EC3 and Joe Hendry.
Local hero.
At the time. And this was a really nice bit. Obviously, you had the EC3 doing the people's elbow, trying to go for the attitude adjustment. But no, then we had the first moment of Joe Hendry getting in that ankle lock against EC3. And EC3 was out to tap. He didn't. But Joe Hendry was able to beat the odds. So it's going to be the local hero versus the Olympic hero in Newcastle upon Tyne for Refuse to Lose. It wasn't Newcastle, wasn't it?
It was Newcastle.
I refuse to lose.
We'll get onto it soon, but
it was
also
definitely Newcastle because I went to it
as well. We had the build up for Bachiti versus Kirby, and you can see that Bachiti's beginning to struggle. And we had the Blompier Rampage match, which is hilarious. So now we're in. Obviously, there was you were at the show, so you got to see it. But for us at home, I don't know whether you watched this live, Anton, but we can watch it because of the stream. and it was that the demand was so big that the screen sold out.
I was alive.
I can't believe it. The main event, the second main event, the first main event, which was the championship, Connors, Ryan Kirby. Oh, what an amazing match! And blip back to the start. No, why did you do that?
No, but
did you have that when?
But the moment
we're not going to get there yet. We need to work down because this is a very important card, so we'll go down.
Fine. Better things to talk about than the card.
No, but the card, you don't really remember all the card because the Kirby and Connors match wasn't even the best match of the card.
I've got to say Minoru Suzuki versus Joe Coffey, which was one of the matches, was a bit...
No, wait, that was one of the better matches.
It wasn't. Trust me, if you were live, it was not one of the better matches.
I think it is. But anyway,
I need to rewatch that one, but when you were live, a lot of people went to the toilet.
That was the first fucking match. What do you mean?
I like it that like El Desperado was with him, and everyone just called it, shit, Sin Cara.
We need to realise that on commentary was Alex Shane, Jim Cornette, and Jim Ross, and the show started off with the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. Bret Hart, who had no idea what he was doing.
No. I always feel bad when Bret Hart comes out and does a speech nowadays because I'm just like, oh no.
Go home.
I've got to say, Bret Hart did fuck up on that show because he announced that they'll be crowning the tag champions on that show.
That was the original plan. That was the original plan.
Oh, really?
But to be fair, Bret Hart is a miserable bastard in real life.
But no, we had so much stuff on this show. We had like Minoru Suzuki. But we also had the crowning of a new internet champion, which turned out to be the Mexican
El Ligero.
El Ligero.
Who's not Mexican.
He's from Leeds, but
Leeds. Leeds, mate.
But he faced a person. If you don't remember this, but Alberto, he got stabbed the night before, and he still showed up.
Yeah.
Now, although we can hate on the guy for things he's done, which is well deserved, that is a lot of. He obviously enjoyed what he was doing there at the time, because for someone to do that, was mad. And that happened. We had so many. We had the Blompier Rampage match with the tighty whiteys.
Oh, that was brilliant.
And stuff, and then you had Jim Cornette I was in his face because Rampage.
What is happening to me, man?
And there was, I'm gonna be honest, there was one comment from Jim Cornette which was homophobic on the show.
What did he say?
I never heard the commentary because I was there.
He said about Adam Blompier, he probably kisses men or something, as if that was a bad thing. So that
comment is a bellend.
That comment is ageing. So Jim Ross kind of sweeps under the rug, but he's like, "No, there's anything wrong with that." And then Jim Cornette's like, "Oh, no."
Yeah.
And then, but we obviously had this time Alex Shane. We haven't mentioned the commentators yet. We'll get to that at the end when we thank the people that were involved. But Alex Shane was a big Blompier fan, and apparently his big testicles was the thing that he was a massive fan of.
Yeah, we heard that commentary enough.
Throughout the match, Alex Shane.
The guy he was kissing.
Alex Shane was like, Adam Blompier's going to win because he's got his massive testicles. No one has bigger balls than wrestling than Adam Blompier.
Pretty sure he said that week to week for a while.
Yeah, but this was the start of it, I think. And so that happened. Rampage obviously beats him. But there was this moment where Pacitti, this was the last face thing he ever did, because later on in the night, something massive would happen. So he was like, "Get him, boys!" And there's this like 7-second wait. And Pacitti was talking about it on the podcast, whether he didn't know whether he got ribbed or not, but nobody walked out for like. So he just stood there pointing at the ring, waiting for.
Come on, guys!
Coffee, Kid, all those guys to come and help, and they just didn't do anything. But then we had obviously the WCPW title match, Joseph Connor versus Martin Kirby. The crowd were hot for this. This was Kirby. Yeah. Oh, not to make a punk. We'll get on to possibly one of the worst shows. Sorry, Anton Kirby Mania in a bit. Kirby Mania was hot. There was glow sticks everywhere. Connors and Kirby. Before we get on to the moment, what a match!
One fun fact. You know they were handing out them glow sticks.
Yeah. No, we know this. We listened to the Courtaholic podcast.
But I was there. It was cool they were handing them out.
Yeah.
No one's allowed glow sticks. Here's your free glow sticks.
Wait, what?
And obviously
He hadn't had the glow sticks.
Did you know
No, he didn't actually. I met him though because they were roaming around backstage. They were roaming around in the arena.
The plan was that they wanted the fans.
Yeah.
That they wished the fans to show them. But quick talk about the match. Obviously to us as fans of WWE, relatively unknowns, putting on this stellar match. And obviously, just what a match! One of the best in history. I'll be honest. Even though the moment is probably the bigger thing, what a match these two put on, and
it was a clinic.
It was fantastic.
The crowd was hot as hell.
And then towards the end, Kirby up to this point was going for a move called the Zoidberg elbow, where we go on the middle. Zoidberg from Futurama, Zoidberg, and he was up to hit it, and then Pacini pushed him off, and he said, "I hate you, I fucking hate you." And the crowd started throwing the glow sticks. Conor was able to hit the right to kill DDT. 1, 2, 3.
Everybody throw the glow sticks at Pacini!
The crowd goes silent for about 5 minutes after he leaves. And then obviously we get the match between the Olympic hero and the local hero.
Come on, you gotta admit, the glow stick scene was probably the best thing they've ever done. That was just amazing.
Mate, you don't remember some of the later stuff.
Yeah, but I threw the glow sticks at Pacini. It was fucking amazing.
No, I think I'll go on to my... I'll get on to my favorite, one of my favorite moments later on.
I'll get to mine as well. We're not there.
And then we got a match in the main event between Joe Hendry and Kurt Angle.
Which was okay.
It was really good, in my opinion. I think it wasn't...
it was really good for Kurt Angle's standards of his age.
It wasn't like the other one, but we had that really good entrance from Joe Hendry. Not as good as Joe Hendry.
Joe Hendry!
Because this was when Joe Hendry was beginning to get popular as well. And it was just fantastic. I loved it. So, yeah, that was Refuse to Lose. Possibly one of the best shows ever. I didn't attend it but I wouldn't say it was a bad match on that card. I'd say Minoru Suzuki and Joe Coffey was one of my personal highlights of the night.
Not mine.
Hard hitting, slow paced, really fun to watch.
Not when you're alive.
Suzuki-yan!
Yeah, if you like the New Japan style, then you'll enjoy it, which I do.
Well,
it looks better on TV. The New Japan style doesn't translate well to a live crowd.
No, because the New Japan style isn't meant to make noise. In Japan, they're really quiet during the matches and they clap.
Refuse to Lose live, I've got to say, was a very, very good experience. Might as well, while we're at this one, I met all the What Culture guys. They were all around.
Awesome.
Simon Miller. We even had fucking Ben Potter from the gaming channel wandering around.
Shit.
Susie, Kenny, Sam Driver.
Oh yeah, this was the start of something that we don't really want to mention. Jack's pervy character for a few weeks. He tried to.
He even hated it.
Yeah, he hated it.
I'm still not talking about my live experience. We'll talk about Pervy Jack in a second. The nicest person to meet out of all of them, though, I've got to say, was probably Pachiti.
Yeah, Pachiti. That's
never met King Ross because he never came to the shows.
I've heard from people.
I did. He didn't like me. That's all I can say. Can I tell this Jack the Jobber story, please? Because Jack's going to hate me for this. We were at Delete WCPW, and there was this transgender person kept hitting on Jack.
Right.
He had to sign the back of a phone case.
Yep.
He was so embarrassed. He just saw the look on his face. It was fucking brilliant. I brought it up during the What Culture Extra stream, and he hated me for it.
Just to be clear for your YouTube comments, we're not saying that Jack is against transgender people.
No, none of us are against transgender people, but it was just a funny story because I don't think Jack was expecting it.
But
he's a shy person as it is, isn't he? He's quite a shy person.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get on to Delete WCW in a minute. I can never say experience, but I just want to say I'll do that wrap at the end. Actually, then we need to do like a wrap.
Yeah, sorry, Jack the Jobber, if you're watching this, but that was a funny moment, mate, and I was just there, took the piss out of you after it. It was brilliant.
So obviously we had the main event between Kurt Angle and Joe Hendry for the crowd. But we move on to Loaded in Elephant and Castle. There was a lot of things that happened at this show. Do you remember any of them?
No.
Yes.
Okay, so there was two big things. I'll tell one of them, and Anton, if you remember the other, you can. So the first, I think it was the first episode loaded after. We don't move on to the Elephant and Castle trilogy yet. We move on to one in the really weird warehouse where the Defiant loaded later on. But we did one where Machiti came out. This wasn't an Elephant and Castle yet. I apologise. But we had this episode loaded where Machiti was like, okay. I'll give you 5 seconds to boo me, and then you have to cheer me.
Yeah, I remember that.
Here's a classic Machiti Club T-shirt which you can buy on shop.whatculture.com.
And they kept throwing it back at him.
Yeah. And then, so essentially Kirby comes out, he's like, Parmesan, what have you been doing? And then he aligns himself with Big Damo. Big Damo comes out in the crowd, who, was fired. And he's like, wow, you kept doing that, man. Big Damo is back. It's mental. And then we had Cody Rhodes versus Joseph Connors, I believe, on that show as well. We had the debut of Mustache Mountain, I think.
Oh, I love Mustache Mountain.
Yeah. I don't like how young Tyler Bate is. It genuinely upsets me.
He's older than you at least.
But
at least he's not fucking younger than you.
But that episode, those episodes were solid. But then we move on to, I think, True Legacy.
Correct. Yeah, that was the next one after that.
Which was the biggest show they had. At this point, Joe Hendry wanted that title. Now they began to allow that to start building because obviously Joe Hendry and Connors, Connors turned on Hendry, but because of the Kirby thing, they had to get that out of the way first. I say out of the way, they had to kind of do that while it was hot. So at this show at True Legacy, I believe it was Cody Rhodes and Angle in the main event.
Yeah.
And they also had Connors versus Hendry. We just talked about that. That was the biggest crowd. I think it was 2,500. I think
that's mental. Which
is what they've been getting at Raw recently. So. But no, if I remember correctly as well, this Cody. But this is the one where Steve Linsky got over when he did the cartwheel in the main event. But I did talk about that. This is when Joe Hendry began to get serious. He was like, I'm not doing entries anymore because I need to beat Connors. His ambition was to beat Joseph Connors, if you remember correctly. He came out to music which was the local hero. Watch him as he didn't do the arm wave thing. He just stood down the ramp staring at Connors, right? And the crowd were like high-fiving him because it was so busy and packed. They could touch him and stuff. So they were hitting him on the back, patting him on the back, and Hendry was over and Connors got booed. But Connors was grasping that title as it was like a baby, and he was licking his lips at Joe Hendry. He wanted to kick the shit out of him, right? And this was the best match of the night for me. Just fantastic. And also, there was a great match early on, I have to say, between Mustache Mountain and Moss and Slater, which opened.
Oh, that was a good match. That was a very good match.
And that was the beginning of the AP Triple T, the Adam T Tag Title Tournament.
Awesome.
Can we just talk about? We'll get on to the Connors and this was sort of a nothing show. This is more just like we've got Kurt Angle again. It's kind of like a medal between Refuse and Delete.
Yeah,
I felt it was a bit like a showcase show and a bit of just like let's have a bit of fun, guys.
Yeah, because nothing really happened. Oh, well, Big Damo left. Actually, so something did happen because it was Kirby versus Damo. She signed something again with Damo. It was like, Damo, you have to win. You've been letting me down since you come back. If you don't win, you're out. Well, I didn't think that was the stipulation, but I think that's what happened. So Kirby beats Damo with a sable bomb of all things.
Yep.
And then Damo kind of turns face at me. He's like, "Good job, Kirby." And Kirby's like, "Are you going on holiday? Where are you going? Florida?" I think I'm. And the crowd obviously cheers because Damo was off to NXT at the time. That was just mad. And then she's like, no! And he's like, I have to think of something else. I've got an ace up my sleeve. You warned Kirby. And then the next show, which was at Elephant and Castle that loaded. Right, so it was the first episode, and there was a rematch between Martin Kirby and Will Ospreay. Just a regular match. And what happened at the end of this particular match? Well, essentially, like on the show as well, we had two friends of Will Ospreay. That's what they were known as. They were called the Swords of Essex. I mean, they were essentially nobodies in our eyes as WCPW anyway, because we didn't know who they were.
You live by the sword or die by the sword.
Scotty Wainwright and Paul Robinson, and obviously Bea Priestley, who was well known as Will Ospreay's girlfriend, was around at the time. And so towards the end of the match, the referee gets taken down, and the Swords of Essex come down, and Will Ospreay's got essentially this stick called a kosh. And throughout this episode loaded, they were like, "We the old Will Ospreay back, How much like your side?" He's like, no, Kirby's a good opponent. I can do it by myself. I want to have a really good match with him. And so Will Ospreay's here, and he's got the kosh. He looks at it, and he whacks Kirby, and he just smiles, and he's beating down Kirby. And then Pacitti comes out doing that weird smile and hands him a Pacitti Club t-shirt. The swords are revealed to have Pacitti Club t-shirts on. The Pacitti Club is born.
Anton, stop eating.
I just talk.
Yes,
Anton,
stop eating.
Sorry.
I can hear the rustling. It's very annoying.
Sorry.
But
anyway, continue.
So the Pacitti Club is born. The next week they come out, and that's when the talk between Bea Priestley and Will Ospreay happens, where one of them's chewing gum and they kiss, and then it goes to the other person, which is disgusting.
Oh, come on.
And amazingly heelish. But this is when Pacitti was in his stride, and Kirby came out, and Kirby was like, "Mate, this needs to get sorted. I'm getting my opportunity against you." And we also have one big thing building up to delete WCPW as well. Again, the AP Triple T continued. And that was another big thing. The Pacitti tag titles. Which you guys don't remember. Do you remember Los Prospectiva?
Yes.
Yes.
There you go, that was a thing. And also we had this best of 7 series between Rampage and Primate.
Yeah.
Basically telling Sheamus and Cesaro that they could go F themselves.
To be fair, they had match 6, I think it was, for Sheamus and Cesaro was actually pretty good. You know, the one where they both knocked each other out.
I was there for one of them. I was there.
You went to a Raw taping or SmackDown taping to watch Cesaro
it was a house show.
I feel sorry for you.
That was part of the best of 7 series?
Yeah, they did a couple of them off screen.
They did one off screen in the O2, which I was there for, which you would see on my old channel.
Who won?
Cesaro.
Yeah, of course it was a house show. But no, obviously, one big thing, Anton, do you know the other big forgets, or do you not?
The lights go out!
Yeah, there you go.
And they're about to, Joseph Connors is about to kill Gabriel Kidd. Gabriel Kidd is trying to up himself. Prince Amin comes out. He's a heel at this point, but he's trying to do a babyface moment. Connors, no, don't do this. Blackouts. Everyone's and then the lights go out. Then it's Drew fucking McIntyre, Galloway, and then he picks him up by the throat and just batters him. So
to put that in English, for everyone to understand. So at the beginning of this, Anton, I was joking. But at the beginning of this episode loaded, it was Gabriel Kidd. He's like, "Connors, you've changed," because I think Connors helped train Kidd. He's like, "You need to remember who you are. I want to face you in singles match." And this was the birth of Gabriel Kidd, because this was understated at the time, but he hadn't won a match yet. And this was that match between Connors and Kidd. Do you guys remember this one? Because this was when Gabe.
That was good.
This was when we realised that Gabe could go. This is. But again, Connors has gone too deranged. I don't know where Joe Hendry was at this point. I think he was too devastated. Oh, but it was already announced that Hendry versus Connors is going to be in a steel cage. Got to remember that.
Yeah.
And then Galloway.
But then Galloway's like, "Connors are going to fucking destroy you." And then we move on to delete WCPW, which is why it's delete WCPW, because guess who's coming? Ooh. It's wonderful, yeah.
And Bully Ray was there.
Oh yeah, who cares? No, I'm kidding. But also announced over Twitter was that Cody Rhodes is coming back with his what was it called at the time? Global Force Wrestling Championship.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was to face Al Ligero on the Delete WCPW pre-show. But mate, that Galloway return, the crowd were hot.
Oh god, yeah.
But there was an eruption. It's mad. I think there's only one big upon history of WCPW in my opinion. Which we'll get onto as we go. I'll say a keyword. Oh no, you must know. So then we move on to delete WCPW, which was in December. Matches include the finale to the AP Triple T, well, first of all, El Ligero versus Cody Rhodes. So Cody Rhodes became the Internet champion, and let's be honest, right? Considering he was an import, he was very loyal to WCPW.
Cody Rhodes is a very nice person.
When he was at the champion, I believe it was Kirby Mania, which we'll get onto in a bit. He was in the Tokyo Dome the night before. He flew over to Liverpool to do that. Like that's commitment. You could tell he enjoyed what he was doing.
He then stole a pint off a crowd member and necked it.
No, they bought him a crowd.
I was there.
They bought him a pint.
Yeah, the crowd member gave him a pint, and then he bought. I believe he said he'd pay the person back. I don't know if he did. But yeah, that was awesome. I was there. That was cool. That was a cool moment.
But yeah, you were here at WCPW, but
yes.
The thing that again was honestly, Jack reviewed the final deletion. He didn't like. Matt Hardy was like, "I'm gonna kill you, Jack,"
and then bit his ear.
Yeah, he bit his ear. But the two big matches going in, or three, was Will Ospreay versus Martin Kirby in a Chart Through Falls match, which was incredible, but I don't think anything can beat that first initial run.
No.
I think it was trying to tell a different story this time.
I mean, obviously, as well, there was another match in between. Fatal 5-way between Kirby, Ospreay, Skull, Dunn, and Travis Banks. This was when Kirby was still a little bit of a heel. That's when he first hit the Sable Bomb and won. Do you guys remember that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we missed that. Ospreay was like, "No, I didn't win." That was before he was the heel. But going into this one, this was the blow-off, and originally Pacitti was meant to interrupt this, but they decided against it.
It's good.
Yeah, because this was a killer match. Speaking of Pacitti interruptions, we'll move on. I think Ospreay won because of the help of the Swords of Essex.
That's what happened.
But also, this was another match for Gabriel Kidd because Alberto was meant to be there, but so Johnny Mundo versus Gabriel Kidd, this home of Nottingham. Crowd were hot for Gabriel Kidd because when Amin started to become face as well, he was like, "I'm going to introduce my protege instead of his servant. My protege." Gabriel Kidd, the crowd explode. But let's move on to Matt Hardy versus
Bully Ray.
Bully Ray, where Bully Ray joins the Pacitti Club.
How ridiculous is that? That Bully Ray joins the Pacitti Club. At first, this is just a little joke side thing from the Bullet Club, and now they make it like a big, serious thing with Bully Ray, Will Ospreay, and the Swords of Essex and B. Priestley. How is this a thing?
It's mad, and obviously, the
Matt Hardy match was good though.
It was.
I've never been a huge fan of Matt Hardy.
Fuck off!
I like his character work. I don't think he's a very good wrestler, to be honest.
Well, to be fair, you haven't seen him. Yeah, but to be fair, for the last few years he's been injured. So.
Yeah, but I didn't like him back when he was like V1.
Yeah, because it was a new wrestler.
But
his work in the middle was good.
But we move on to the main event, which was a really good match, steel cage.
This was
the
an amazing
ending
match.
Was fantastic. So what happened was, Connors, right, because Drew McIntyre got injured because of the Righteous Kill DDT, they were really playing up the danger of the Righteous Kill DDT. Remember?
And his neck.
And his neck. And Connors Joe Hendry was climbing over the cage, he was about to drop, and Connors was like, "I'll break his fucking neck." So Joe Hendry gets back in. But then by the time Joe Hendry gets in, Gallo reverses it, is able to hit his Future Shock DDT. Hendry is climbing out the ring, trying to get down the cage, and as it hits 3, Hendry's feet touch the floor. But Matt Galloway, the count was just fast enough, and the timing was perfect. Drew Galloway
was very good.
WWE champion, and you can see Joe Hendry's like, "No!"
Oh, that's so close!
And this starts a new thing for Joe Hendry. So going into Loaded, it was a rematch, not in a cage this time. For those guys, McIntyre, Connors, and
just going to ask, what did they play during the time they were setting the cage up for the main event? Because it took them about 5-10 minutes to set that cage up.
It was Cody talking.
It was Cody telling stories about Zack Ryder balding.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember that. That was very funny. Actually,
we didn't see any of that. We didn't see any of
that. They also announced that his first opponent would be Zack Sabre Jr., who had one of the best themes in WCPW.
Oh, Zack Sabre Jr. is amazing.
But so yeah, we're now at the end. 2017 in the last loaded taping in Elephant and Castle. Which is
it was in Newcastle. It was in Newcastle.
I think it was in Elephant and Castle, mate.
No. They had the Elephant Castle, then they had Delete WCPW, then Delete WCPW, then they had the 2 loaded tapings in Newcastle.
And this was a big end to the 2016 because it was Kirby and Matt Hardy versus the Swords, right?
And Bully Ray.
And Bully Ray, so it's a 2-on-3 handicap. And if Kirby and Matt Hardy won, Bushi would no longer be in charge.
Correct.
And, so then the Swords of Essex, they cheat to win, they get disqualified, and then he's screaming, he's like, bring it in, just gonna bring it in, do it now! And then so they do that. I love my Adam Pacitti crying voice, by the way, because he's so good at shrieking.
Yeah.
So he does that, but Kirby still wins. He's able to beat them. I think he beats Scotty Wainwright, and so he gets a chair in the ring for, as he calls him, Parmesan. And he's like, "I'm your boss now, dickhead. You're fired," and kicks him in the face. So guys, that was 2016. What a mad year!
Wait! I gotta say, like, out of everything that's happened in WCPW and Defiant, that is one of the most satisfying endings. It wasn't the ending, was it, Anton? It wasn't the ending, but for that period, it was just so sad. When I finished watching that, I just felt so satisfied and so pleased from a TV show. I never felt that in years.
It was the richness.
But we cannot forget Kirby making the entire loaded next show pink.
Well, it wasn't loaded.
I was there. It was
Kirby
pinky.
Mania.
Yeah, I was
there.
The first show was in charge. It was pink.
Yeah, but we'll just we'll quickly wrap up this bit. But how amazing of the first half of the year was WCW.
It was amazing.
It was something special. You could see that something special was happening. As we move on to, no offense, mate, but one of the worst shows.
I will admit, it was like
it was not good. It was not good.
No, it was not good.
The only reason I said it wasn't good was very cold, apparently, and I wasn't there.
It was freezing. So it was freezing.
It was very difficult for the wrestlers to actually wrestle, and I believe Joseph Connors was quite upset because Joseph Connors returned here to have one last match with Joe Hendry, but because the crowd weren't hot, because they weren't hot, they were cold.
Well, the thing was that we thought that like the last match was Bully Ray and the Swords versus Moss and Slater and Drew. We thought that was the last match, and then they said, "Now it's time for the main event," and we was like, "Oh, there's one more match. Oh, okay." And then it was Joe Hendry and Joseph Connors, and the crowd was just sort of just dead because they. Oh, I got a funny story about that that match, the 3-man tag match. If you want to hear it.
Time, by the way,
yeah, go for it.
How are we doing for time?
So basically, at the start of the match, I don't know if it's going to come off as funny as you guys, but Drew starts on the babyface team, and then Bully tells Paul Robinson, who's the smallest, scrawniest guy you could ever meet, and he tells him, "Yeah, you go out there and you tell him what's fast. You tell him what to do." And Paul's like, "Yeah, I could do that." And he looks up to Drew like literally Dave and Goliath type look. "I'm gonna mess you up, man! I'm gonna mess you up!" And then Drew just picks him up, just throws him on over him. Paul just goes, "Ah!" And I just love Bully's expression when he just goes, "Oh no! Paul! Are you okay, Paul?"
Oh, really, Tom?
I don't know. It was just funny.
Really,
anyway,
Tom.
Continue.
Yeah, that was funny. That was a funny moment.
All I'll say is as well is that during this time we had tag team champions. That we haven't mentioned the women's stuff all that much. And that's
because most of the time it was literally Nixon Yor versus B. Priestley constantly.
All those matches. We'll talk about now.
Yeah, they were really, really good. Just kind of got boring for a while for the same people facing each other.
Yeah, I mean,
true.
You know, we Defiant. That's one thing I would say. Defiant improved. Defiant had a very good. If you guys watched Defiant.
Now, all right, we are going to continue our discussion of the Defiant Wrestling / WCPW timeline. Unfortunately, Anton has had to leave us. You will hear his voice at the end of the video where he tells us what his favourite match is, but obviously, due to him not being here, we've had to record that beforehand.
We shipped him off to NXT UK.
Yes, he's gone from Defiant and WCPW now.
I'm just going to call it WCPW from now on, if I'm honest.
Yes, WCPW.
So when we were at Kirby Mania, we move on from Kirby Mania to February, and I believe the February show was Lights Out. Yeah, Lights Out. And then we saw
where it literally was lights out.
Yeah, it was quite dark.
Show where
it was a really good show. It was a really good show.
Apart from minor technical difficulties.
No, the lights were meant to be that colour.
And then they also lost power for it as well.
Just thinking of a different show.
I swear it was lights out.
I don't think it was lights out. It might have been. So lights out. We saw the debut of Tessa Blanchard, I think. We saw the debut of Ricochet. Will Ospreay returned after a bit of an absence because he left. Yes. I think after turning heel. I don't think he came back until this point. He had blonde hair now. I know, what a dick. And the main event was Drew McIntyre versus Bully Ray, and Bully Ray stole Sam's camera to use as a weapon. And we also obviously had that Ricochet match against Cody Rhodes. That was the debut of Ricochet, who would go on to have many matches in WCPW. We also had, I don't know if you remember this, Tom, but we had a really good match between Travis Banks and Zack Sabre Jr., which really go on to elevate Travis Banks.
I do remember that match. It was one of my favourite Zack Sabre Jr. matches in WCPW.
One of my favourite Travis Banks matches as well, actually. I think it was really strong.
Very good match, that was.
But yeah, Lights Out, nothing really changed. If I remember correctly, no titles changed hands.
Nothing major happened, just a few decent matches.
At this point, Nixon Newell got injured, so she was still the women's champion, but Brie Priestley was running around as the legit women's champion in her eyes. So she would carry the belt because Nixon was injured, because when isn't she injured?
That was a good story that Brie Priestley did with that belt.
Well, Brie Priestley's just fantastic. I think she's very underrated. But we move on to a set of February no, we're still in February, I think. And what happened on Loaded around this time?
We did a Ricochet and Tessa Blanchard versus...
Yes, we did.
Brie Priestley and Will Ospreay, which is my favourite WCPW match.
We haven't got to mine yet. But we'll talk about that later on then, I guess.
I just wanted to point that one out, yeah. But I think in these loadings tapings, there was also where the ring broke when Ricochet took on Will Ospreay.
No, that was at True Destiny.
All the names get confusing.
So also, this was the site of Pacini, get the table!
Oh, and he goes through the table.
Yeah, so this was a really good opening segment. So I think it was a women's match between Roxy and Enhancement Talent. And this was during the midst of Kirby's time as GM. And so Kirby, so Pacini and it's Bully Ray. They're grabbing Roxy by the hair. They're like, Kirby, we're going to do 3 chances. 1, they start pulling her by the hair. 2, they hold her up in the position for the powerbomb. And then if Kirby comes out, he's like, whoa, Pacini, you get what you want. If Bully Ray can beat me tonight, you'll be back in charge. So we're thinking, great, here we go. This is a really good match. And so Kirby and Bully Ray, it's the traditional David versus Goliath match. And during the match, Pacini hits Bully Ray with the chain by accident. He was going for Kirby, and that obviously sets them off. But there was one beforehand where it was, Pacini, get the tables! And Pacini was meant to pull out a gimmick table, but he accidentally pulled out a real table. And obviously at this point, he knew he was going through that real table. Because you can't just go, whoop, sorry, wrong table. He was a real man, he stuck up to it. But at the end of the match, Kirby's able to win and beat Bully Ray, but then Bully Ray's annoyed at Pacini, so Pacini runs away, but then all the babyfaces in the WCPW locker room lift Pacini down to the ring, at which point Bully Ray power bombs Pacini through a real table. We can tell the impact, it really hurt him.
Even Bully Ray gave him credit for going through that table.
Well, I don't think anyone would give anyone credit for that. You know,
that did look tough.
And that was actually the end of Pacini, really, in WCPW. We didn't really see him ever again.
I think Blompier was gone at this point as well, really.
Well, Blompier became the GM. I can't believe you forgot that. But
oh, fuck yeah. My memory is hazy, I'm old.
Did you tune out before Pompey became GM?
No, I'm pretty sure I didn't. Was that during the World Cup?
Yeah, World Cup and stuff.
Then yeah, I would have.
So you kind of stopped watching around the World Cup?
Yeah.
The World Cup was good, man.
I lost interest at that point.
But then we go on to True Destiny, where it's going to be Kurt Angle versus... Oh no, we have one more load of taping in Scotland, where this was the Jay Lethal Triple Threat draw out. So Adam Cole became Ring of Honor champion at this point. So Adam Cole was here, Bay. And he's going to be taking on El Ligero, because El Ligero was promised the Ring of Honor title match, and Jay Lethal won Triple Threat. But also on the show, we saw Drew McIntyre defend one last time against Joe Henry.
Local hero.
And Joe Henry wins but loses. I don't really know what happens. It's a bit of schmoz. One referee thinks that Joe's won, and the other one. So Kirby's like, I'll be special guest referee. At True Destiny, it will be Drew McIntyre versus Joe Henry. Last chance for Joe Henry. And Joe Henry's like, right, I've got to do this. In the meantime, we've seen people like the Oddity BT Gunn debut. So that'll come into play later. We go to True Destiny, and that was the match between Ricochet and Will Ospreay. I don't remember this, but it was a really good call by Matt Striker here. They're so good, they broke the damn ring!
I've got to give Ricochet's credit for his top rope moonsault.
Yeah,
because the top rope was on the floor.
So he just took the top rope.
Just jumped off it like it was off the top rope. That match was amazing.
Along with that, we had one of my favourites, which was a four-way tag team title ladder match, which was Prospect, Moss and Slater, who had given a open challenge to the other teams. So it's Prospect, Moss and Slater, Ligero and Kid with Amin, and the Swords of Essex, but Paul Robinson wasn't there. It was Will Ospreay pulling double duty, and by Christ, do you remember this match?
Yes, that was an incredible match.
But also we had, I believe, a rematch between Travis Banks and Zack Sabre Jr. on the show.
I believe so.
Also, again, really good. But we had Joe Henry versus Drew McIntyre, and Drew McIntyre wins clean. 1, 2, 3. Joe Henry raises his hand, whoop. But later on the night, obviously, as I said, we had El Patron versus Kurt Angle in his last indie match, I think, in the UK.
Yeah, it was.
And Kurt Angle wants Patron, comes and lifts his hand. But then Joe Henry comes out, he's clapping with Kurt, he's raising his hand, but then low blows him and gives him an angle slam. Joe Henry has turned heel.
One of the best heel turns the company ever did.
He's no longer the local hero, he's the prestigious one! So the next night, he's on Loaded. This is the last 2 episodes of Loaded for a while. We'll get on to that in a minute. But so Joe Henry's out and he's like, you guys didn't believe in me. And then El Patron comes out and calls him an asshole. But then Joe Henry's like, alright, I'll face you tonight, I'll face you next week. So they do that. But on that show, that was where Will Ospreay super kicked out the jobber.
Oh, that was good. That was a good moment.
Became a massive meme for a little bit. But no, so Joe Henry versus Patron. Patron's about to win with the cross arm breaker, or something it was called.
Yeah.
But then Travis Banks and Coffey come out because Joe Henry is about to snap. And then they have a chair in their hand and they turn the table. Joe Henry has aligned himself with Joe Coffey and Travis Banks. They are now the Prestige. And we move on to Exit Wounds. And on this, do you remember this card? This is possibly my favourite out of the WCPW match.
I think I've stopped tuning in at this point.
The main event was Will Ospreay versus Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, definitely didn't watch this show.
You tuned out a lot earlier than everyone else.
I just didn't have the time to keep up with it.
So this is kind of now where you fade out, and
gonna fill me in on what the hell happened until I started watching again.
I was really hoping you'd watch the World Cup.
No, I didn't. I didn't have time or the money because I think I cancelled my What Culture Extra at that point.
You watched WWE, but you didn't watch. Because I'm sorry, at this point, WCPW was putting on better shows than WWE week to week.
Yes, they were. But my channel was based around WWE, so I kind of had to make.
Nobody gives a shit about your channel, man.
Everybody gives a shit about the channel.
All I'm saying is at that time you probably could have done gangbuster content.
I don't think I was into. I wasn't doing live reactions at this point either. I don't think so. Kind of.
Whenever they're live, you were working.
Yeah, that's a problem. It's
wouldn't step 1 to 4 a.m. Doctor. Anyway, so Exit Wounds was a kind of a nothing show. It was the debut of the Prestige again. BT Gunn joined them, but this is where Kirby relinquished his general managership to Mr. Adam Blompier, and Blompier became GM. But they've announced at this point they can't run Loaded anymore because of amortization. And
Adpocalypse.
But before that, though, this had the third highest ranked match in WCPW history by Dave Meltzer, with a 4.25 star between Will Ospreay and Drew McIntyre.
Damn.
It was also the debut of Marty Scurll, again the re-debut.
Shall we explain why they had monetization issues?
We'll get onto that with the next show, which was called Fight Back, which was a free pay-per-view type thing.
Oh yeah, they made it clear in that. But I think I watched that one.
And
just to stand with wrestling.
All I'm saying is that Exit Wounds ended with Drew McIntyre headbutting B Priestley and keep retaining his WCW title. Anyway, move on to Fight Back, and that starts with Adam Blompier in the ring, and he talks about wrestling is not hate, wrestling is a lot of community, we need to stand up for wrestling. And they do the show, right? Ligero joins the Prestige, he turns heel, nothing else really happens on the show. But 5 minutes after it finished, Tom, it got taken down by YouTube.
Yes, I remember.
And everyone was like, what the fuck? It didn't just get demonetized, it got taken down.
And they had to fight it because they lost their live stream privileges at that point.
Yeah, which was ridiculous. We need to talk about that. Why?
Because when they did the Apocalypse, if people don't know, wrestling got put into the bad category, which would included domestic violence, abuse, terrorism. It got put in that category.
Jake Paul was existing at this time.
Pardon?
People like Jake Paul and Logan Paul put dead bodies up around this time.
I think they were slightly bit later than the Apocalypse.
No, I remember clearly.
But yeah, it was ridiculous. I think they've now taken it out of that category a long time ago because, well, wrestling isn't in that bloody category.
But then we move on because there's not really much we can talk about yet. They
got the video back, if anyone wanted to know. Yeah. YouTube did give them the video back. Yep.
We can move on to what I would like to call possibly one of the best tournaments in recent wrestling. You haven't seen it. So we'll brush over this Pro Wrestling World Cup, which was won by Kushida. Really strong tournament. We will talk about it more, but Tom hasn't seen it, so we can't really talk about individual matches. But yeah, what a tournament. We move on though until after this, the Prestige attacked Kushida, who won the World Cup, and we go on to them there, and then we have another set of Loaded. Loaded's back. They've taken it off. They feel like they can do it again, and for a few months, Loaded's running well. But then Adam Pacitti, Blompier, Ross, Jack, Sam all left the company. So this is a complete coincidence because they were planning on rebranding anyway to Defiant, but WCPW announced that rebranding to Defiant Wrestling, and their first champion is Marty Scurll. But then
I'd say WCPW was a better name.
Yeah, but it's. I mean, I think because of the things outside, they couldn't link it with what culture. But Stu Bennett is the GM now. Wade Barrett, he becomes GM for a little bit, and it becomes Defiant.
I tuned in at that point for a few weeks.
But this is where NXT UK started to happen. So they lost Travis Banks, El Ligero, all those guys that went to NXT UK. And I think we should spend this next half an hour, 40 minutes talking about how much they would still be around if NXT UK wasn't a thing. They've already said that that's the case. And is NXT UK destroying UK independent wrestling? Because it was booming for a good few years.
I don't think so, because there's still quite a few wrestling promotions still in the UK.
No, but they're nowhere near as big. Like, they are very small indies, and that's why Defiant had to close down, because they are a small indie. There is no big indies. Like, WCPW is a big indie, Ring of Honor, big indie, that's gone down. AEW, although it's great that WWE competition, it doesn't help the independent circuit. Is independent wrestling dying, is the question. Slowly. Because I know there's been this band together of independent this group. Have you seen this on Twitter and stuff? The Independent.
I have not.
They have T-shirts that say Independent on them. But it's all about healthcare and stuff. But is independent wrestling dying? And most importantly, is the British wrestling dying? Because it's depressing, man. Because I feel like you wouldn't have tuned out if those guys were still there. But after this, Defiant really had to scale down the shows. They got Neville in Pac for a really good match with David Starr. I don't know if you watched that one.
I think I saw that. I saw a bit of Pac's work. Then again, I don't like the guy that much.
You don't like Neville?
I don't like Pac.
Is in the character Pac or is in the dude? Because the dude is just. I like the bastard.
He was just a bit of a prick.
That's why he's called the bastard. But yeah, we need to just remember the fun memories. Do you have any particular fun memories? I mean, you stopped a long time before I did, but I think
Will Ospreay's entire run was perfect. It made Zack Sabre Jr. a bigger star in the eyes of the UK independent scene and the fans of the people.
Zack Sabre Jr. was massive. He went to the Cruiserweight Classic before this.
Yeah, but most of the UK fans didn't know of him.
Yes, they did. He started in the UK. RevPro, which is the biggest indie in the UK. You didn't. It made you aware of Zack Sabre Jr.
And a lot of other people, because not everyone kept up with the scene.
But man, was there any reason? Did you think the quality was very, very time thing? Because I think when you left, it's when it started to get really good.
Yeah, I liked it for what it was. A quirky little wrestling promotion that had the faces of What Culture in it.
So you didn't like it when it got a bit more like wrestling type?
Kind of lost what it made it unique in the first place.
I didn't like the whole What Culture characters. I thought
that's what it was.
That was never what it was intended to be. They were just there on the first show to help it succeed.
Yeah, but they stuck around for the first year of its life.
They never left. They only left when Pacitti and Blompier left, but you stopped watching ages before that. There was never not one moment where at least one of them was on until one of them left.
Yeah, but as soon as they left, it kind of just...
Yeah, but you stopped watching before they left.
Yeah, because the World Cup was boring me.
But the World Cup had some of the best matches.
I can't be bothered to keep up with it.
Oh, we're going to have a spat here. The World Cup was amazing.
Well, maybe I'll check it out sometime if I can randomly find it in the history. Which is hard because there's no...
It's free now.
What?
It's free now, I think, Access Defiant. I'm not doing a show to log on.
I'll have a check.
But that's what I did with Extra for a brief time. But
I don't think they helped by bringing in so many foreign stars that couldn't stay in.
No, I think that helped. I think it helped.
Well, it helped in one way, but it hurt in another way.
Like people like Cody, who was there for a while, really helped.
Yeah, it helped in one way, but a lot of people tuned in for those people, and as soon as they won, I think people tuned out. Not a lot of people, but I feel like the only reason I went to 2 shows live is because it had the big famous wrestlers.
Yeah, but that was the selling point. You went for the big wrestlers. And
and then they stopped that for a while.
What, the big guys?
For like loadeds and stuff like that, after the World Cup, they toned down the big guys, didn't they?
Yeah, they had to go down to smaller UK indie stars, unfortunately.
That's the problem. I think that's when it started taking its dive.
Oh yeah, definitely, but that wasn't their fault. It's doing money and things, and running it.
But I don't care because they make shit. They must make shit tons off What Culture channels.
But it wasn't linked with What Culture anymore.
But it's still owned by What Culture.
No, it wasn't. So yeah, that to get scaled down, and I think we have to say a huge thank you to people like Peter, Matt, James Dixon especially. Everyone's been talking about him. He was the head of talent relations, booking and stuff. Pacitti, Blompier, Jack, Ross.
Ross did nothing.
He did WTF Moments, as he was.
That's all he did. He never appeared at the show.
No, but you can't tell me King Ross is WTF Moments. Yeah.
They did help. They were
WTF Moments. Sam as well, the Shredditor.
Obviously, he was the editor of it
at the time, and Chris Thompson as well, who made a bunch of the Titantron.
You can't forget Hobo Joe.
Hobo Joe, yeah.
Definitely can't forget Hobo Joe.
I can't not thank Robbie Mills as well.
Yeah, shout out to Robbie Mills. Thank you for your hard work and editing.
Yeah, he made a lot of Defiant stuff that you didn't see. Because you were watching. But I think it was a huge success for at least a good year. I know you stopped watching because the World Cup was a bit confusing for you. But you look at the names.
I just couldn't be asked to keep up with it.
Well,
I work 50 hours a week. It's hard to keep up with everything.
You sick to watch WWE? I think that's ridiculous.
Because WWE gives me the money.
Only do content if you enjoy it, not because of money.
I enjoy WWE occasionally.
1 out of 52 weeks a year.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's just frustrating, and I think going back to the UK indie thing, I think NXT UK, bit personally, that's my.
Yeah, they were a big factor in the death of Defiant.
Because I think people would have stuck around, especially if Connors has been dicked on by NXT UK.
Oh yeah, I know.
Like, he was red hot, and like you can't say it's his fault because at the time there was no stars there really. The Moustache Mountain, the original tournament.
Yeah, and Pete Dunne.
Yeah, Pete Dunne as well.
Who should have won it.
Should have won it, but he didn't. It becomes a time where.
Yeah, but WWE did a power play in the UK scene, and it worked.
No, I'm not saying it's not smart. Like, don't get me wrong.
For WWE, it was smart.
But as a fan, as someone that doesn't really like WWE,
even I can agree that they shouldn't be trying to kill the wrestling scene.
Especially like they saw WCPW as competition. That shows how good they were running. They literally were told.
Yeah, because they never gave a shout out in the UK tournament to WCPW. They shouted out every other promotion in the UK but them. Because they were a competition.
Yeah, because they were that good, and I think, I know you wouldn't possibly be watching because there's no big stars there. If they were able to generate the money with the views of like Banks, Kirby, because Banks has got huge, Connors is still there. You've got Moustache Mountain, who are incredible. Pete Dunne,
Walter.
Walter would still be there. Everyone would watch Walter because Walter's amazing. We didn't even speak about that run. That was insane. But Big Daddy Walter, but yeah, it's frustrating. I think
it's very frustrating to see a wrestling company die.
And it's sad as well because this is one that was near and dear to our hearts, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's weird that it started almost like over 3 years ago now, but it doesn't even go scheme of things. And just see it go after having such a boom. And I think, you can tell by the tweets that have come from the wrestlers. People like Bully Ray, Cody have talked about it. You can tell everyone that was there, Will Ospreay.
Even the old What Culture guys have tweeted out their condolences to it.
They even made a 2.5-hour podcast, which shows how much.
Even Blompier commented on it, and he's pretty much off the scene. I think he sent out a tweet regarding it.
But because it's such a moment where there's a spark, and you think, because we'll be honest, I don't know about you, but I'm very sad. It
is sad, and obviously it brought more eyes to YouTube as well. Even more eyes to YouTube, giving someone to watch an actual wrestling promotion on the internet. But I think that was probably not the smartest idea on their part, is to make it a YouTube-based promotion.
Well, to begin with, YouTube was fine, and then they got screwed over by
but even without the adpocalypse, a TV deal is more way to secure the future of a wrestling company than the internet. It's like, I think we'll be talking about Impact Wrestling in the next couple of years the same way, because they're now on Twitch for their weekly shows. Twitch.
Yeah.
I think they'll go the same way as Defiant in the next few years. They'll be bought out by WWE for their TV license, and they'll kill it. They'll get the TV tape, they'll get all the tapes and the video libraries, and then they'll kill Impact. Because Impact can't even pay the wrestlers more than what I make a year.
Yeah, it just gets just gets very sad, and I can't. It's just difficult, and I just want to say thank you to everyone that
tuned in, watched Defiant Wrestling, supported it, bought all the T-shirts and everything.
Independent wrestling, because it's gonna die soon. Because I could chat about WWE and their system all day. It's very smart on their part, but you can tell it's not working because nobody.
I think we have to agree. Ring of Honor, New Japan, and AEW are not classed as independent wrestling.
No,
they're too big to be independent wrestling.
Ring of Honor, yes. The other two, no.
What? Not independent?
Yeah.
Ring of Honor's big though. That's the problem. I'd say it's kind of
anymore.
It's in between independent and
because they've
big
lost,
promotion.
They've lost a lot of their guys. Obviously, all the elite who were in AEW were AEW essentially snatched half of Ring of Honor's roster.
That's what I mean. I think Ring of Honor's in the cusp of is independent and is not, because New Japan is definitely not independent. That is a big company. That is as big as WWE in Japan. It's got the money, it's got the support, it's got everything that WWE has. AEW's going that way as well. We'll have to wait and see how the TV launch works. But I want AEW to succeed. I want more than just one alternative to watch, because New Japan is not easy for an English or an American person to keep up with at all, because the shows start too early and it's just ridiculous to keep up with them.
Yeah, and it's just if I'll be honest, someone put a gun to my AEW or based on 3 shows.
Oh, I'd base AEW every day of the week because their wrestling has been incredible.
And WWE's not even been bad these past few weeks. I watched it, but
no, it's just AEW's been putting out better stuff.
AEW just feels like they're currently with it. I'm not going to say it's a Vince McMahon problem, because I don't think it is. Because you saw that, I don't know if you saw this on the internet, it came out as a news. There was a writer's. One of the writers said, before this job I never had any wrestling experience. Why are you hiring writers that haven't worked in wrestling?
Yeah, Vince is a problem with the company. We all know Vince is the heart of the problem with WWE. Which is why he's employed Eric Bischoff and Paul Heyman to sort his shit out. Because he can't write a decent show to save his life anymore.
Yeah, it gets frustrating. But anyway, this is a WCPW. So, what's your favourite match? We'll get off to that before we get off track with Vince McMahon.
I alluded to it earlier, but it's definitely the Will Ospreay and Bea Priestley versus Tessa Blanchard and Ricochet match.
Yeah, I think that's a really good one. As I said, I went with Drew McIntyre. We didn't talk about No Regrets either, which was I don't know if you saw that Rumble show.
I believe I watched that one.
Where Cable Kid finally broke his streak.
Yes, that was it. Yeah, I did watch that one.
And we also saw the debut of AJ Hazard, aka wrestling match with WCPW. Did you remember that bit? Yeah.
Don't think so.
He came out in the Rumble like number 22 because Adam Sheet used to be a wrestler, like a jobber wrestler, but he used to be a wrestler.
I think one of my other favourite matches were, you remember when them 2 camera crew people got called in for a match? They were just working around the arena as just event staff, and they got called for a match. I think they faced the Swords of Essex.
Yep, I'm with you. Well, the SEC.
Yeah, them too. That match was incredible.
The South Coast Connection.
Yeah, that was an incredible match. That was my second favourite. That's what made me love tag team wrestling again.
It's just sad. I mean, we might as well. The championship had 11 different over 3 years, which isn't bad. You look at the caliber of some of those champions as well, but it's just it's frustrating more than anything because the reason it's WWE. It's not of its own accord.
I know.
And that's when you just feel like, because I'll be honest, I've never seen one NXT chance, not because I'm pro Defiant.
It's good. It is good.
I don't want more WWE in my life. It's one style of wrestling. Like, I'm watching 5, 6, 7. I'm not watching 7 hours of one thing a week. I love Doctor Who, but if they said, "Oh, we're putting a show on every," I'm not watching that.
No.
Because I'm not watching 6 hours. Like, why would I do that? I've got better things to do. And it's the audacity. I think it's the audacity they expect and they want people to watch. when they're just putting out mediocre content each week. I know this isn't like a well-known thing, but as a kid, I loved Raw in 2011 to 2014 because it was 2 hours for most part of just solid fun. And you can deal with 2 hours of mediocre.
3 hours is just too long for any wrestling show that's not a pay-per-view.
People are like, I had a comment that Avengers Endgame is 3 hours, but that isn't every week.
No.
That's one movie you can watch how many times you like, and you're never going to miss anything different unless you have the Easter eggs and things. Whereas,
it doesn't help with TV commercials make it seem so much longer.
Yeah, like when we were back doing the What Culture Extra days as well, you get to ring. Watching the streams made Raw a blast.
Yeah.
Like, I loved Raw back then, even when it was 3 hours, because those 3 hours snapped by. And when Bashiti and Ross would continue for like another hour afterwards, I'd always stay along and watch.
That's it. I never went to bed until they left.
Because they do like the karaoke stuff.
Oh, that was good. Until they did the final one.
Yeah.
My heart will go on.
Yeah, and they got married from Kenny.
They did that again, didn't they, for Cultaholic?
Yeah, well, no, it was Sam and Ross this time.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think I've said everything I want to say.
Before we can end, Anton will give his favourite match.
Here goes Anton. Ooh.
Favourite. I hope Alex didn't pick this one, but... actually, yeah, the first... there's loads to choose from, but add that bit in. There's loads to choose from, but if I had to choose one, it would be the first No Regrets Rumble.
Really?
It just had everything in it. It was I really enjoyed it, and then it just had Kirby winning the title.
I'll let you know. I didn't pick it.
Yeah, very, very good choice, Anton.
Yeah, well, I was going to go, because originally I was going to go for Ospreay, Dar, and Ligero, and then I was thinking...
I didn't pick that one either.
Neither did I.
Oh!
But yeah, there you go. Anton's favourite match is the No Regrets Rumble for the first one.
Best match live, I would say Cody versus Matt Riddle.
Ooh.
Bro.
We did one thing we didn't talk about Comania. Supposed to, but I never got onto it quickly for the time. Was Cody Rhodes versus Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah, that was an incredible match.
One of the only gems.
I just tweeted him.
One of the only gems on that card, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, it was. That was a really, really good match.
It was so surreal to see
how good Zack Sabre Jr.
Cody Rhodes. And so good to see how Zack Sabre, but just seeing Cody up close, because the last time I saw him was like up in the cheap seats in the O2 arena as Stardust.
I've never been. I've never been. I going to any wrestling show. I've never been to wrestling live. I don't think I ever will do.
You need to go.
You definitely need to go.
My own friend in wrestling that would ever go with me is the Robbie Mills. He lives in like America.
That's it. You need to get a ticket to America, bro. Let's go to America.
Anton will go to a show. If you say you're going somewhere, hit me up. I'll go with you.
I'd be probably go to the O2 ones in next year.
Fantastic. That's a date. We'll set it up. Tom, come along.
Maybe if I can get time off work.
We'll see how good Raw and SmackDown is. I'll make my decision.
Exactly. Hopefully it'll be getting better.
Is it Raw and SmackDown or is it just a house show?
They'll be if they're O2 arena, they're Raw and SmackDown.
Cool.
Raw and SmackDown.
We'll get better seats from Disabled as well, so it's all good.
Ooh.
One year we'll get in free, but that doesn't mean that I'm paying and you guys one year get go half.
Oh yeah, I'll pay you.
Alright, cool.
So yes, guys, this has been our little look at the history of WCPW / Defiant Wrestling, our thoughts on it, and just overall just talking about it. Just we don't want it to be forgotten.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing, and just a huge thank you. It did decline, but that wasn't the fault of the company.
No.
It was just the thing what they were getting.
Yes, it is a big, massive thank you to everyone who made the production, the staff, the bookers, the wrestlers themselves. A lot goes into producing a wrestling show, and a lot of people go into to do it. I'm hoping that all these people will be able to find new jobs, and no one will suffer from this, because people's livelihoods ended that day.
Yeah. And I think we need to give a huge shout out to the commentators.
Yeah.
Dave Bradshaw, James L. Kennedy, Stryker, even people like JR and
every guest person that appeared, just
even Ross and Simon. Like, even though they were poor in terms of quality, which they know about, so
Ross just took the piss out of his own commentary.
Yeah, because he knows it was bad.
It was so bad. But we'll always have fond memories of Defiant Wrestling / WCPW.
I think, that's sure, and absolutely. And, it's good to be back on the channel, and I'll come back whenever you'd like me to, for definite. So
exactly. We do hope you've enjoyed this little discussion around WCPW. If you did enjoy this, please smash the like button. I do a weekly podcast regarding all the latest wrestling news and stories and stuff like that with my friend Stefan.
Or Shawn Michaels Jr., I think his name is.
Those two separate people, mate.
Oh, okay, I don't keep up with your channel.
But yes, thank you all for watching. Please smash that like button if you enjoyed. Have you got a YouTube channel to subscribe to?
I don't know.
Please subscribe to Anton Blake-Cox, who was in the first half of this video.
Anton Blake-Cox. Go to Anton Blake-Cox and write.
I will post a link below for his channel to check him out. He is also
subscribe to Mills.
Subscribe to Tom Reviews, link in the description, and this channel, All Things Wrestling. Both do daily content.
Subscribe to Cultaholic and What Culture if you didn't watch those, you just watched Defiant. I know you should know that by now.
Exactly, just check both of those guys out. They're incredible channels.
They are both still going strong. I know a lot of people are like, Cultaholic's better, but I
like the style of videos that What Culture do, which is why I continue to watch them. I watch Cultaholic's lists, but I don't really watch any of their other stuff because I'm not that interested in their live reactions and stuff.
Yeah, because you do your own.
Yeah, exactly. It's not my kind of content. I don't check any of it out, but I watch their lists and stuff like that. And
no offense, I am more of a Cultaholic live reactions person.
Well, yeah, because there's more of them and it's more entertaining to watch. I agree with that one.
Yep.
But people like my live reactions because people join.
I just can't watch your live reactions because you vape.
Vape Nation, baby.
Anyway, guys, we'll end it on that bombshell.
Thank you for watching. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Anton, even though you're not here. And we shall catch you all later. Bye.